So
You mentioned they'll start taking into account your variable pay after 2 years, and your 2 year mark is in what, a month or something like that.
Yeah, month and a half.
Right.
Yeah.
You might do a little bit more digging and try and understand, when does that become effective, right? Is it on that day? And if that's the case, if my 2 year is on March 3rd, can we close on March 4th? Right. And then you just talk to the owner and you push the closing date, which is not uncommon. I've pushed closing dates on 20% of my properties. And sometimes that's because of me, because lending is trying to figure things out. Sometimes it's because sometimes because I plan poorly. Or one time I set the calendar date as the wrong date, so we had to push it a day. But and then it's still sometimes it's because title can't get a clear title, but that's an option.
Yeah, that would not be good from a seller perspective. The seller wants to close quickly. They asked for a 30-day close. Because I asked initially if I could offer a 45-day close.
Why do they want a 30-day close?
Because they're under contract. Now that they're under contract to sell this property, they're under contract to purchase their other property. And this one has to close before that one can close. And they don't want to delay that closing, all that stuff.
And you can do a couple of things in that situation. People care about money, right? So you could say, I'll give you an extra $2,000 if you give me an extra 60 days. That's one option. Another option would be to use a bridge loan, where you purchase it as essentially short-term financing, higher interest rate, and then you refinance into a longer-term loan, more costly. Or the last option would be to buy it outright and do delayed financing. So essentially, you work with a lender, and they set everything up. You buy it outright, and then you essentially do a cash-out refinance up to the terms that a normal purchase would be. So even if their cash out refinance terms are 75% LTV and their purchase is 80%, they'll do it at 80% because you're doing essentially a delayed financing. The only risk there is, if let's say the valuation of the house is low or something like, you just bought it, but you might just dig a little bit with that lender and say, hey, what are the risks here? Because this is the situation I want to avoid. This, and this. Like I want to liquidate this money pretty quickly so I can get it back into this other, the fiveplex I'm looking at or whatever. But those are a few options for you.